Welcome to all my 11th class students on my channel Digital Education. Your social science teacher Meenakshi Kaushik ma'am today will start a new chapter of class 11 History, the Industrial Revolution. Students, this chapter is very wider and lengthy chapter. It is not possible to complete and explain the chapter in a single day video or in single day SST online classes. So students, today I will take the summary or gist of the chapter, and now the second and third part of this chapter Industrial Revolution will take in the next video in next online class. A student, one more important point which I would like to convey to you, that is very important related to your study part. So it's my chapter based explanation. My chapter based explanation completely based on school exam pattern, and it is just like a offline classes. You feel that when you will attend my SST online classes, it's just like a offline classes. Those students are attending my SST online classes, they feel that ma'am, your classes, SST online classes are just like a offline classes. They feel like that because I listen their chapter based and subject based problems very carefully and I sort out it. And now their learning problems, chapter based problems, there are other queries related to the chapter. I also personally handle it and personally I sort out with them. Even I provide to the students, my 11th and 12th class students, the PPTs and PDFs related to the chapters, and sometimes I arrange for them, generally they're chapter based. I arrange for them their doubt clearing session. And after the doubt clearing session, again I take the feedback from my students, whether the chapter is completed or not by them, whether they understood the chapter properly or not by them. So this type of feedback I always take from my students, not only the 11th and 12th and from the other classes students. And now students, I also take the regular revision of the chapters at different intervals, which are very helpful to my all the students for gaining the good marks. Another important point students, the 11th and 12th class students and the other classes students, those are listening to me and watching my this video, and it is especially for the 11th and 12th class students. After the 3 and 4 months, there will be the board examination. 12th class students, the CBSE board examination. Or naturally, after the board exam, they have to face the competitive exams, entrance exam, for taking the admission in good courses, for taking the admission in good government universities and other universities. For these students, the 12th class students, they have to crack their CUT exam, entrance exam, they have to crack their IP universities exam in different courses. So now all we know that there is always the journal paper, English paper is there, and the SST, the GK paper is also there. So now students, in my SST online classes, I always try to provide the previous years, the sample papers and practice papers of CUT exam and the GU exams, entrance exam, to my 11th and 12th class students for their revision. So simultaneously, I covered their syllabus of 11th class school syllabus and the 12th class CBSE syllabus, and simultaneously I arranged for them the previous year's question papers of competitive exams, sample papers, practice papers for their revision. And really students, when you will attend my SST online classes, personally you will feel that ma'am had done a lot of hard work with us, and you will gain something after joining my SST online classes. And my based competitive exams, CU based or IP universities based competitive exam sample papers will really help you to prepare you for cracking the competitive and entrance exam of CUT and the IP universities exam. So students, it is my personal suggestions to you, advice to my all the 11th and 12th class students, especially have to attend my SST online classes, join my SST online classes, and watch my all the videos regularly. If you are attending my SST online classes, I will provide you the maximum to maximum my personal notes to you in a form of PPTs and PDFs, and I will cover your syllabus and plus the sample papers, PYQs, and practice papers of competitive exams, entrance exam, which you have to face after the 12th class board exam. And then cracking your entrance exam, you know very well, then you will be able to take the admission in good courses of your choices and in good government universities and colleges. So now students, again I am just repeating this, my lines, my statement. Please watch my videos regularly and now join my SST online classes. Thank you students. Watch my videos and attending my SST online classes. Thank you students. Thank you.
Students, today I will explain the new chapter Industrial Revolution. In this chapter, I will explain to you the meaning of Industrial Revolution and the basic origin of Industrial Revolution, causes behind the emergence of Industrial Revolution. All we know that Industrial Revolution it was started firstly from Britain in 18th century. So now the Industrial Revolution was one of the greatest transformations in human society. Second, the Industrial Revolution also led to the creation of a new prosperous classes. So now students, the Industrial Revolution basically this was a revolution in the field of textile industry and which leads to the revolution in different other fields. For example, energy revolution, transport revolution, consumer revolution. Different other revolutions also emerged during this time period. And now the impacts I will explain to you in my next video of industrial revolution. So now students, let's start the chapter. Please, you have to watch it and listen my explanation very carefully and attentively. Now let's start the chapter. See please. Students, today we'll start the new chapter of class 11th history, the Industrial Revolution. This chapter is very important for examination point of view, and all we know that after Industrial Revolution consists the maximum weightage of mass. So now students, all of you have to listen the explanation of the Industrial Revolution chapter which will be given by me, and all of you have to please note down all the important points simultaneously, and you can also take the screenshot of the chapter. One more important point, student, this chapter is already I have conveyed to you in my previous means videos. The chapter is very lengthiest and the broader chapter I cannot be completed in a one day video and the one day online class. So now I have divided this chapter in 2 and 3 parts. In the first part, I will explain to you the definition, the meaning of the Industrial Revolution, and in the second part, I will explain to you not in the second part. In the second part, basically, I will explain to you the impacts of the Industrial Revolution on world history. And in third part, I will explain to you the impact of Industrial Revolution on Indian history, means on India. So now today I will explain to you the meaning of Industrial Revolution and the causes. What were the causes responsible behind the emergence of Industrial Revolution? What were the consequences during this time period? So now I am going to start. Now to explain the chapter, please have to listen my explanation very carefully and attentively. All the students please focus on explanation. Most historians, according to the historians, now this means the origin of the Industrial Revolution, it was basically it was started from the Great Britain during the 18th century. So according to historian, when we talk about the origin of Industrial Revolution, the emergence of Industrial Revolution, that was occurred firstly from Great Britain during the 18th century. So this was the time period, this was the era when the Industrial Revolution was started. And this Industrial Revolution, firstly, we know that it was started from Britain and then it moved forward to the other continents. That it moved forward to the other continents of Europe, the other means the countries and the other the areas which were completely means combined and related to the European continent and then Asian continent. So now in the next slides I will tell you the causes. Then we will go in the depth of the topic. So now students, when we talk about the industrial revolution, and this was not the revolution in a violent way. This was the revolution. It was a revolution in the field of industry. It was a revolution in the field of factory system. It was a revolution in the field of trade and commerce activities. So means to say that this revolution, industrial revolution, it was in the field of economic activities. It was in the field of trade and commerce activities. It was in the field of trading activities, in the field of factory system. So now this industrial revolution, it was a very immense revolution. And this industrial revolution also led to the revolution in different other fields such as energy revolution. It was started firstly the industrial revolution that led to the other revolution in different fields. Again I am repeating, such as energy revolution, such as in the field of transportation, such as in the field of communication, transportation and communication revolution, consumer revolution, and revolution in the field of agriculture, in agrarian societies. So means to say that this revolution not only in the field of industry, not only in the field of factory system, it also now motivated, it also enhanced the revolutionaries ideas, enhanced the revolutionary concepts in different fields. Already I have conveyed you in transportation, again I am repeating, in communication, in energy, in consumer, in machinery and technology system, in agrarian society, in the field of agriculture. This was a vast revolution, industrial revolution, and Britain was the first country who initiated, who started this revolution. Now what were the causes? Causes I will explain to you in broader terms. But one more important thing I would like to convey to you students, the chapter is very deepest chapter hai, very broader chapter hai. So I am trying to give you the maximum from my side in my this online SST class video. But complete chapter, complete explanation, it is not possible to provide to the students only through the videos. I can provide only the gist and the summary of the chapter in a broader manner. But if you want to go in the depth of the social science subject students, 11th and 12th class students and the other students of other classes of SST, social science subject, so now you can join my SST online classes where I will give you the best to best my knowledge part and best to best explanation and other informative points. Again repeating to you, PPTs and PDFs I will provide to my all social science students, those are joining my SST online classes. And my SST online classes are means these all are like the offline classes. Online classes so I am taking, but my online classes just like a school offline classes, because I am a school teacher. And my all previous videos, same point I have conveyed to my all the social science students. Again I am repeating. So now you can contact to me through my WhatsApp number, which I have given in my description box. Because now the means hardly the 3-4 months are left for your final exam. The class 11th, the 10th and 12th and 9th and 8th, the other classes. You can contact to me just to gain maximum marks in your social science subject. Okay, now students, now come to one point. I am going to explain the topic. So now students, the industrial revolution already have conveyed, it was started firstly from the Great Britain, and then it moved forward to the other countries, means other continents, the European continent and then Asia continent also, and now India became the part of the exploitation, you can say, or we can say, of British Empire, because of the basic reason was the industrial revolution. Basic means the concept behind the British Britain, Great Britain, that was the industrial revolution, because they heard about a lot our country India, they heard about a lot about the European country and now the Asian countries, or especially about the India. India is a country which is full of resources. So now because at that time, during that time period, during the 18th century, the industrial revolution was started. Now they wanted the raw material, and now they textile industry. Firstly, they set up in the Manchester and Liverpool. Manchester and Liverpool were the two important main cities where the firstly the Britishers, the traders, they set up their factories, textile industries in Manchester and Liverpool. So for the production, the maximum production in textile field, they demanded the maximum raw material, and they were searching for the raw material, the cheaper raw material, and for selling their goods and items, machine made goods and items, for selling it, they need the huge market system, and that they were just looking, means just this type of areas where we can set up our factories, where we can gain from the means the area, the raw material at cheaper cost, where we can sell our goods and items maximally. They need the huge market. So now they targeted to our country in Asia continent, that was the India. And not only the India, they targeted the other countries also. And this industrial revolution also followed by the other countries, that was also followed by the France, that was also followed by the Japan, the other different countries. But the basic origin of industrial revolution, it was from the firstly Great Britain during the 18th century. And now all we know that now the modern period, when we talk about in context of India, the modern period, according to James Mill, the modern period of India was known as a British period. Why? He said in his book The History of British India, which was published in 1817. So note down please, 1817. He had written the book The History of British India, and James Mill now mentioned it that the modern period of India was known as a British period. After 18th century onwards, that was a modern period started in India. Why he said that the modern period was known as the British period? Because after the decline of Delhi Sultanate, the Mughal Sultanate, in medieval period, new era, the modern period started, and now our modern period in India, that was slowly captured by the Britishers. Firstly, the British East India Company, which was established in 1600 AD, that came in our country only for trading purpose. Only for, firstly, their motto was only to have the trading relations with India. Firstly, but slowly, their mentality, the scenarios have been changed, and now they try to encroach our political territories and our the India's economic areas and the social areas, and later on the religious, and slowly they exploited India politically, economically, socially, religiously, culturally, and different aspects. But their first motto, that was only the having the trading relations with India, but slowly their mindset had been changed, and behind it there was a one reason, that was a industrial revolution which was occurred in Great Britain in 18th century. This was the basic reason. They were finding the areas, they were finding the different regions, different countries and colonies where they can set up their godowns, where they can set up their factories, their means manufacturing units for maximum production and gaining the raw material at cheaper cost. So now again students, I am repeating, there was only one concept behind it, the maximum territorial expansion of British Empire in European continent, in Asia continent, that was the Industrial Revolution. The basic reason, Industrial Revolution, because they were searching the areas, they were searching the different countries and different places where they can sell their items, machine made goods and products and raw material at cheaper cost. So this was a basic concept. This was a basic reason why the Britishers encroached the maximum areas during this time period. Why they captured India. Why they entered in our country during the 18th century. The reasons I told you. Now I'm going to explain to you about the causes of the Industrial Revolution in details. So please students have to note down in your social science notebook copy, or you can also take the screenshot. Let's see the next slide please. Yes students, see the slide. The Industrial Revolution was a period of social and economic changes that transformed agrarian means the agricultural societies, into the industrial societies. means to say that the Industrial Revolution was a period where the maximum social changes in society, in context of societies, were occurred. For example, when the Industrial Revolution was started, now there was the creation of a new prosperous class, a new elite class, the capitalist class, because all we know that the capitalist class always a class which is completely related to the industrial class. Capitalist class, in simple words, we can call as the industrial class. Capitalist class, industrial class, meaning same. So now student, the industrial revolution changed the whole scenario, and this industrial revolution also led to the creation of a new prosperous means new elite capitalist industrialist class, which was completely now enjoyed all type of privileges. The maximum sources, the sources of income were availed, were gained, and were enjoyed by them. This is about the elite class which was emerged during the time period of industrial revolution, and the maximum social changes were occurred after the emergence of this revolution in the field of industry, in the field of factory system. Up now, when we talk about the changes in economic field, naturally, because this revolution was related to the industries, this revolution was related to the factory system, related to the trade and commerce activities, that all were related to the economic changes. So maximum economic changes were also occurred, and that transformed the agrarian agriculture society into a biggest industrial society. Previously, before the industrial revolution, there were the maximum agricultural activities were there, where the primitive method of the agriculture that were used by the farmers and peasants. But now, after the outbreak of industrial revolution, emergence of industrial revolution, slowly, the agrarian societies was going to be transformed, changed into a industrial society, where the maximum changes, maximum inventions, maximum technologies, maximum advancements were used in different industries and in different factories. Advancement in tools, advancement in machines were used during this time period, 18th century, in industrial revolution into other industrial societies. So this was a major change. This was a drastic change because of industrial revolution. So now student, the industrial revolution was one of the greatest transformations in human society. Greatest transformation, greatest changes, developments occurred in human society. Drastic changes occurred in human society. And the industrial revolution also changed the England and the world forever. This is the another change. This was the another change. Again, I am repeating. These are the very important points, friends. You can also note down simultaneously. We just note down these. Because of the industrial revolution, this was the one of the greatest transformation in human society. Second point, the industrial revolution changed England and the whole world forever. And now the industrial revolution also led to the creation of a new prosperous, new elite, new capitalist class. Up now the society was divided completely in the 2 or 3 parts, you can say. Society was already divided in 3 parts: the upper class, the middle class, and the third one was the lower class. But after the emergence of industrial revolution, after the origin of industrial revolution, there was the maximum changes, and there was a boosting of the classification of the society in the field of economics. The first was society, the capitalist class. The second class, the most suffering class, according to Karl Marx, the middle class. And the third one was the poor class, means the labor class. So now one side, if the industrial revolution was beneficial, not only for England, beneficial for the world also, somewhere, to some extent. And now whatever the changes we are seeing, in today's time period, the globalization, this global economy, it is just all because of the Industrial Revolution, which was earlier started by the Great Britain during the 18th century. So now this globalization, the process, it was started earlier. This global world economy, this was started earlier during the 18th century. It is not randomly started. It is not the process of the 15 or 20 years. It was started during this time period, 18th century. But in the platform of global economy, global world. There is a chapter in 10th class, making of a global world. Global platform, globalization. A very important question always comes in 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th. What do you mean by globalization? What is global economy? What is global world? This global world, this global economy, it is not the creation of only the 10 or 15 years. It was a creation of during the time period of 18th century. That platform, that word already it has been started during this time period. It emerged during the 18th century. This global world, global economy. This is the basic advancement, changes, developments which we are seeing in today's scenario. Global economy, global world. These all are this global world and economy. This is simply the impact of the Industrial Revolution, which was started by the Britishers. I hope so, student. This explanation all of you understood. The global economy, a global world, globalization. This is the word. Yeah, this is the platform. It is not only just the 15 years back, or 10 years back, or 20 years back. This platform, this emergence of this word, the global world and global economy, yeah, globalization. This already it has been started by the Great Britain after the emergence of Industrial Revolution. And that's why we say that the Industrial Revolution was a period of social and economic changes. Now the society has been transformed in different areas, in different aspects, in social areas, in economic areas, and now in political areas also. Everywhere we had seen the changes, and now we are seeing the changes. It is just because of industrialization. It is just because of urbanization. So now, students, I am going to tell you about the causes of the Industrial Revolution. Historians have identified several causes, several reasons that led to the Industrial Revolution. These are, we will see in the next slide, please. Have to watch, students. Now, students, see the causes of the Industrial Revolution. See the slide, please, carefully, and note down all the causes simultaneously, and also take the screenshot. The causes of Industrial Revolution. Now, according to the historians, there were many factors, many causes, several causes were responsible that allowed the Industrial Revolution to take place in Great Britain. Already I have conveyed you, Industrial Revolution, it was started firstly from Great Britain during the 18th century. And the main important causes which I am discussing with you, I am explaining to you. The first main cause, that was the surplus wealth, extra money. Now the surplus wealth, this was the main cause in Great Britain why they started the Industrial Revolution. The revolution in the field of, already I have conveyed that Industrial Revolution in the field of industries, in the field of factory system, in the field of trading and commerce activities. And that brought into the existence a new prosperous class, that was a capitalist class, that was the elite class, that was the industrial class. Those were having the surplus amount of wealth, those were having the surplus wealth, maximum full of resources, maximum resources of income. So what they will do with it? If they were having the surplus wealth, now they started to use their brain, their mind. So now then they invest their money in different areas, especially in the industrial areas, especially in the industries. And then they set up their industries. Firstly, the two main cities, the industrial cities of Great Britain, Manchester and Liverpool. These were the two main cities where firstly the textile industries were set up by the British traders. So now these means the British traders, the capitalist class, you can say, the industrial class, constantly they were seeking the new opportunities new areas where they can invest their huge surplus amount of wealth, a huge surplus wealth in different areas. And ultimately, they succeeded in their mottos. Firstly, they set up the industrial system, the industries in their own country, in their own area, in their own cities, Manchester and Liverpool. And then they started now to search the new areas, new continents. They started to search in European continent, the huge market they was started to search out, and now in Asia continent. On Asia continent, the biggest example where the Britishers set up their trading activities firstly, and then their factory system, their godowns, and now later on they started to capture our political activities, political territories. This was in India. So now, students, this is just because of the mentality of the Britishers, because all they were the maximum the capitalist class were there. Up now when the industrial revolution was started, seeking the new opportunities and now new areas where they can invest their money, where they can gain the raw material at cheaper cost and machine made goods, because machinery system was also initiated by the Britishers during the industrial revolution, where they can sell their machine made goods and products in a market, in a huge market like India. So now, students, they started to invest their money at different countries, in different areas, regions. As a result, now when they gained the maximum profit, to invest the amount and gain the maximum profit, this is always the mentality of the business class. This is always the mentality of the elite class. This is always the mentality of the capitalist class, industrial class, to gain maximum profit, to invest the lesser amount in business and trading activities and to gain the maximum profit. This is the basic mentality of the business class or industrialist class. And now because of this mentality, generally who are exploited, who are suffered, that is only the one class, the labor class. The working class, those are working in their factories, in their industries. Generally, they are exploited by the industrialist, by the business class, by the owner, by the factory owner, because their motto is only to gain the maximum profit. That's why they set up the factories. That's why they started their businesses. This is the formula of business, na, to gain maximum profit. So this was the formula of the Britishers during the Industrial Revolution. As a result, the increasing amount of money, slowly, their amount of money, the surplus wealth also increased, which were made available for the growth of manufacturing units. When the surplus wealth increased, so just because of that was possible for the growth of manufacturing units, maximum manufacturing, maximum the products were manufactured by the industrialist class because they were having the surplus wealth and increasing amount of money. But the labor classes, the worker class and the working class were exploited by the capitalist class, by the industrialist class. And these financial resources, these economical resources required for industry investment came from the wealth that various colonies means the areas which were captured by the Britishers. India was the greatest example, the greatest colony of the Britisher. They ruled our country near about 300 years. After the passing of the royal farman, royal order by the Jahangir, the great Mughal emperor, the Jahangir, Sir Thomas Roe and Sir Stephen Hawkins, they were the two ambassadors of the Britishers. Those came in India and ultimately they took the permission from Jahangir to have the trading relations with India freely. Free trade policy that was passed by the Jahangir. No taxation, no imposition of taxes, no other tax collection. That was not this was not the requirement for the British traders initially. So this royal farman, this order was passed by the firstly the Mughal Emperor Jahangir and the two British ambassadors who came firstly in India, Sir Thomas Roe and Sir Stephen Hawkins. And now, after gaining this free trade facility, having the trading relations with India, this was a good opportunities for the Britishers, for British Empire, and the basic platform. It was a basic platform when they started, when they means continued their commercial and their trading activities with India, and that was continued till 1947, or near about 300 years. They exploited our country, firstly economically and then politically, socially, culturally, religiously, in all aspects of life. And that's why our all nationalistic leaders fought against to them. A feeling of nationalism, it was raised among the Indian nationalistic leaders, among the Indian peoples of Indian society. So now means to say that's when it was a complete, means the complete a history of British India, and that all the maximum books were written by the different historians and writers. One is the great Scotland writer James Mill, who had written the book The History of British India, where he classified the Indian history in three categories: ancient history, medieval history, and modern history. In my previous videos, if you watched it, so you observed that, and you saw that Kim ma'am explained about the classification of history done by the James Mill. So now I'm coming to my main points to end. I just connecting this topic with my little bit the previous topics. Now, who were the colonies of the Britishers? So now India was the greatest colony of the Britishers, where they exploited India in all perspectives: economically, socially, politically, educationally, culturally, religiously, all perspectives, or particularly in India. And then whatever the materials, the raw material, because India was a country which was full of resources. So they exploited our full of resources, our natural resources extensively, extensively, extensively. They exploited our resources and exported to all our raw materials to England at cheaper cost. They purchased the raw material at cheaper cost to our Indian traders from our farmers and exported to England and gained the maximum profit. At cheaper cost, they purchased the raw material, and machine made goods and items they sold in our Indian market, huge market, because India was a huge market, because the maximum population was there. So India was the biggest colony for the Britishers, a very resourceful colony, and that was a meaningful for them. So now maximum means their concentration, the Britishers' concentration and focusing point, that was the India. And the reasons behind, so many reasons were there. Political reasons, all we know that. Why you the students can ask to me, why the focus maximally on India? Why the India became the biggest colony of the Britishers? The reason was because there are so many reasons were there, students. Political reason, economic reason, social religion, our religious reasons, our now basically the mentality of our Indian peoples, the Indian rulers. The political reason was the main reason, where our Indian rulers, the Hindu rulers, the northern part rulers, the southern part rulers, all they were having their egoistic problems, clashes, ideological clashes. Their clashes in their ideas. Always there was a clashes just because of supremacy. I am the supreme ruler of my kingdom. I am the supreme ruler of that kingdom. So there were the clashes among the Indian rulers. This was the basic reason, and this was the good opportunities for the Britishers to now to take the benefit, to utilize this time period. Now the Indian rulers, all they are having the clashes, and now there the ideological concepts confrontations, conflicts are there. So we are having the good opportunity. Why we are not using this good opportunities? And now they treated this time period as a good opportunity. They treated this time period as a good platform, and to introduce their factory system, their industrial system in our country, India. So this was the basically, student, the scenario hai कि how the Britishers made our country a biggest colony, or how they exploited our country, India, how the raw material exported by the Britishers to England. Next point is student, population growth. This is This was the another reason. Rapid population growth. Now the India is the world largest populated country in today's time period also. The world largest populated country. Previously the China was there. Now the India is the first largest populated country. So rapid population growth, this is not the problem of the today's time period. This was the population growth. This was the problem of during that time period. There was the Indian population was rapidly growing, met the growing industries. So rapid population growth met the growing industries, demand for more and more and cheaper labor. And now there was a rapid population growth in Britishers, among the Britishers also. This rapid population growth in Britain also. Up now the population was growing rapidly in Britain. So naturally they were demanding the goods, they were demanding the other products. And when they were demanding the goods and products, so naturally there will be the establishment of industries, growing industries, and demand more and more items and products. अब now the more item and products है, establishment of industries है, so naturally there will be the demand of cheaper labor. Then the industrialist class, then the capitalist class will gain the profit now. When we will have the cheaper labor, the laborers those are taking the cheaper wages, low salary, then you will gain the profit na. If you will pay the handsome salary to the labor class, a good salary to the labor class, their profit will be lesser. The industrial class, the profit will be lesser. So now this is the basic concentration, the basic focusing point of the industrialist class, the capitalist class. Establish the huge industries, establish the huge factories, and to fulfill the demands of the consumers. And just for fulfilling the demands of the consumers, they need the cheaper labor. Those will take the cheaper wages, lower salaries. And now they also need the use machines and technologies for the promotion of industries. Now student, rest of the causes I will explain to you in the next slide. These two are main: surplus wealth and population growth were the two main causes why the industrial revolution was emerged during this time period in Great Britain. Yes, students. Now see this slide. The next cause behind the industrial revolution, political will. But it was influenced by the commercial and the manufacturing interest. Means to say that the British government that was completely influenced by own commercial and manufacturing interests. And that's why by the order of British Crown, there was the establishment of British East India Company in 1600 AD. This was basically the political will, political interest we can say of the British government. The British government was also influenced, also inspired by the commercial, the personal gaining, commercial gaining and manufacturing interest, some vested interest. And as a result, this fought to other countries for market, for huge markets and for colonies. So just to fulfillment of these commercial and manufacturing interests, the British government tried to capture the huge market of European continent and Asian continent, and tried to capture as well as the European colonies and Asian colonies. Next reason, next cause behind the emergence of the Industrial Revolution in Britain, inventions by James Hargreaves. James Hargreaves, who was he? He was the inventor of spinning jenny machine. And this spinning jenny machine was used for spinning wool or cotton. Friends, please have to note down again. Note down please. James Hargreaves was an inventor who invented the spinning jenny machine that was used for spinning wool or cotton. So now the some inventions done by the Hargreaves, Crompton, James Watt, the inventor of steam engine, Cartwright, and others were also there. And these inventors basically they given their contribution in technological advancements to meet Britain growing industrial production demands. So now students, all these inventors, one side, they had the great contribution in Britain, they had the great contribution in technological advancements advanced machines, tools, technology were used in Britain just to satisfy and meet to the Britain growing industrial demands and production. So now the demand of the British products, it was at high. It was raised by the consumers, raised by the peoples. The demands were raised by the peoples of industrial productions, of industrial items and goods. So now student, these were the another reasons, another causes behind the emergence of the industrial revolution. Political will of whom? The British government, the political will. And the next is a demand. And this was the demand which was raised by, the demands were raised by the consumers. Consumers like the peoples, like us, and the consumers means the countries where they set up their colonies, their encroachment in those countries. Peoples were demanding the British machine-made goods and products. So now students, in next slide, I will explain to you the next reason behind the outbreak of industrial revolution. Yes, students. Now see this slide. The another cause, infrastructure. All along the coast, the Britishers had established their commercial ports, making it simple to conduct both internal and external trade. If we talk about in context of India, the Britishers, for the expansion of their internal and external trade, they established some coastal ports in India. They established their godowns. They established their factories in India, in different parts of India. Firstly, they established their ports in India, in Calcutta, in Bombay, and in Madras. These were the three famous ports of Britishers in India. And these ports they established for the expansion of, for the internal trade and the external trade. And these ports later on, Bombay, Madras, and Calcutta, later on these three ports became the presidencies of Britishers. Presidencies of Britishers means the official headquarters of Britishers, from where they operated, they controlled the whole political, economic, social system of India, political system of India, economic and the social and other aspects. So these three, Bombay, Calcutta and Madras, in beginning, these were the ports which were established by the Britishers in India when the India became the colony of Britishers. But later on, these three ports became the presidencies of Britishers, means official headquarters of Britishers. And not only the Bombay, Calcutta and Madras, but also they established their godowns and factories in Surat, in Bengal, and in other different parts of southern India, just to control the maximum territories of India. And for these students, for the expansion of the British trade in India, they introduced the different policies, or these different policies were introduced and implemented by the British Governor Generals. All we know about the Lord Cornwallis, all we know about Lord Dalhousie, Lord Wellesley, Lord Clive, Lord Wellesley, Lord Dalhousie, Lord Hastings, Warren Hastings, all these Governor Generals, they introduced different policies, British policies in India. Their mottos were to expand the British trade in India as well as the territorial expansion of British Empire in India. So student, this was another reason. For the expansion of internal trade and external trade, Britishers, they need the colonies, they demanded the areas and the regions for the expansion of industries, for the setup of factories. Next point, next reason, the banking system. The banking system in Britain played a very important, significant role as it provided the necessary capital. Capital means the money. Capital means money and financial support for establishing the factories or investing a new machinery setup and funding technological innovations and advancements. Already in my previous slide, students, I explained to you there were some great inventors. Hargreaves was there, James Watt was there, These were the great inventors in Britain. Those had the great contribution in technological advancement and innovations in Britain. So now students, the Britishers, they use their banking system, they use their surplus amount of money, surplus wealth for the expansion of industries, not only in Britain, but also in other parts of world, but also in the European continent and but also in the Asian continent. So their money, the banking system, British's banking system played a very important and significant role, because all we know that for the establishment of industries and the factories and manufacturing units, they need the huge amount of money. Yes, towards the next reason is the state support. The state support the industrial revolution through the laissez-faire policies advocated by David Ricardo and Adam Smith, a great to foster economic growth. A very famous book written by the Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations. So first of all, students, you have to listen to me carefully. The meaning of laissez-faire policies. Why the British government supported the laissez-faire policies to support the industrial revolution? What was the reason behind it? So first of all, the meaning of the laissez-faire policies, please students have to note down simultaneously. The laissez-faire policy means the government doesn't interfere with the business and economy. Means to say that no intervention by the government side. No intervention by the government side. This is the meaning of laissez-faire policy, which was adopted by the British government during the time period of industrial revolution. And this policy was adopted by the British government for the promotion and for the expansion of industrial revolution, industrial system, factory system, not only in Britain but also all over the world level countries where they established their colonies. The laissez-faire policy, one more thing students have to listen very carefully. The laissez-faire policies means no taxes, no regulations and no tariffs. Again, no taxes, no regulations and no tariffs. Instead, the market should be completely free to be led by the natural laws of supply and demand. This is the basically the meaning of the laissez-faire policy. Means no interference, no intervention by the government side, and government never interfere with the business and economy. And no taxes, no regulation, no tariffs. Our market should be completely free to sell their items, goods and products for the supply and fulfill the demand. This is all related to the laissez-faire policy. And this policy again advocated by David Ricardo and by the Adam Smith, who was a great economist, and very famous book was written by him, The Wealth of Nations. Now students, in my next slide, I will explain the next topic. Please see. Now the cause of availability of raw material and easy market access was the another. Britishers, they established their colony. For example, they established their colony in India. Already I told you. They supplied the raw materials and offered markets for finished. Now students, Britishers, they established the colonies in India, in European continent, other countries in Asia and other countries, where they supplied the raw material from these countries to their own country at cheaper cost, and they offered the finished goods to sell their items and products in the huge market of these colonies. So now students, basically they needed the raw materials from the colonies at cheaper cost, and they wanted to sell their machine made goods and products in the colonies to those colonies which were captured by them, facilitating the industrial revolution by ensuring the availability of resources and demand for products. So now students, this was the another basic reason, availability of raw materials and huge market system in the colonies, that attracted to the British traders, British Empire to establish their colonies, to set up their factory system, industries, not only in India but also in other countries. Up now student, next reason, that was innovations and technological advancements. This was another reason, innovations and technological advancements behind the emergence of industrial revolution. I will explained to you about which were the innovations, which were the technological advancements were introduced during this time. Now students have to listen my explanation very carefully and note down these innovations and technological advancements in your SST notebook. See the slide please next. Yes, students. Now, the Industrial Revolution saw many technological innovations. Which were the advancements? Which type of a technological advancements and innovation? I am going to explain to you. One is the steam engine. The steam engine was also invented. This was a great technological advancement and innovation during this time period, Industrial Revolution time period. Thomas Newcomen's steam engine was the first successful atmospheric steam engine and was used to power machines, steamboats, steamships and locomotives. These power machines, these steam engine played a vital role for the development and for the emergence of industrial revolution. Next innovation, next technological advancement was spinning jenny. The spinning jenny, note down students, very important. Generally, yes, this question always comes in an exam. What do you understand by spinning jenny? Write a short note on spinning jenny. The spinning jenny was a machine used for spinning wool or cotton. English inventor James Hargreaves invented this spinning jenny machine. He created it and now this spinning jenny machine patented in 1764. Please note down. This spinning jenny machine was patented in 1764. Or at last, this spinning jenny machine helped the industrial revolution in the particularly textile industry. There was a great role of spinning jenny machine in the textile industry. Next, the other inventions were also there. Those played and contributed a very important role given their contribution during the time period of industrial revolution. In other inventions during the industrial revolution include the electric generator, electric motor, now yes, incandescent lamp, telegraph, telephone, internal combustion engine and automobile. So these were the other great inventions which were also came in front of us during the time period of industrial revolution. And these all technological advancement innovations had the great role for the expansion of industrial revolution not only in Britain but also the other parts of world level countries. So now students, to basic all the reasons I explained to you of the industrial revolution, the meaning of industrial revolution and the causes of the industrial revolution. I hope so all of you understood betterly all the causes of industrial revolution. Now yes, in my next, this is the last slide, the conclusion of the chapter, the topic, the industrial revolution. The industrial revolution was a significant turning point in world level history. This was basically a significant turning point in world history. It brought about the great advancements, technological advancement which already discussed in previous slide, transportation advancements, innovations, different other innovations and advancements in manufacturing units, and revolution in energy sources, transportation and communication revolutions, consumer revolutions, etc., etc. However, students, it also led to the challenges like poor working conditions and inequality. On one side, the industrial revolution improved the market system, the factory system, the manufacturing units, the technological advancements, improvement in transportation and in communication. But the second, the negative point of the industrial revolution, that was very pathetic, poor and deplorable conditions of working class peoples and labor class peoples. Those were indoors, those were working in manufacturing units and in industries. Their condition was very pathetic, and the working conditions in factories, that was not healthy and hygienic. This was also there. So now this was a great challenge. This industrial revolution was a great challenge for poor working class or poor labor class. And they had to face the social inequality also. One side, the one class, the capitalist class, the industrial class becoming more and more richer due to the industrial revolution, gaining more and more profit. And the second class side, the poor class, the labor class, the working class peoples, the conditions becoming more poorer and more deplorable. And despite all its drawbacks,
These are the drawbacks, है ना? Because there is the emergence of social inequality. It was rising, it was growing day by day, social inequality due to the industrial revolution, because there were the two main classes. One was the capitalist class and the second was the working class, poor class, labor class, and middle class, the always the suffered class. So despite all these drawbacks, the industrial revolution revolutionized the way we live and laid the foundation for modern human society. At last, friends, this is the conclusion of the topic, the industrial revolution. Despite all the minus points, all the drawbacks, all the negative points, anyhow, the industrial revolution revolutionized the way we live and laid the foundation, introduced the new modern human society. This is the basic gist and the summary of the topic, industrial revolution. And students, the impact of industrial revolution on world, impacts of industrial revolution on India, and that I will explain in my next online SST classes, in my next videos. So students, please watch my videos regularly. Please share, like and subscribe my all the videos of Meenakshi Kaushik ma'am, Digital Education by Meenakshi Kaushik. I am trying to give my best to my students, classes 6 to 12th, and now I will give you the best to best knowledge. It's my promise to my all the students fraternity, to my all the school students, to all my online classes students. I will do my best from my side. Thank you students for attending my this online classes and watching my videos. Thank you students.